Hello guys, going to be going over the MLB PrizePicks slate for Saturday, July 16th. And we have a double header because the Mets and Cubs game on Friday was rained out. Do have a pick in the game too. Looking at first inning runs allowed. There's one Pirates and the Rockies. Mitch Keller against Jose Urena. It's the Pirates, so their offense really is not good. But Urena is not a good pitcher. The Rockies, they are good at home when it comes to their offense. So, the Pirates pitcher, Mitch Keller, not like the greatest pitcher, not an absolute gas can either. But this game, it is in Coors Field. So, of course, anytime you do get a game here, the odds are usually going to be in the favor of the over. And I have some interest in this. This is also an afternoon game, so it's going to be warmer than usual. The winds right now, they don't seem to really have an impact. No, it doesn't say out or in. So that's kind of makes this, I wouldn't say it's a tier 1 play because these two teams, just the Pirates, the opponent, you want the visiting team to be a much better offensive team. But the Pirates just aren't. And this isn't even their full strength team, which even at full strength, this is not a good offense. They're missing Brian Reynolds. I mean, probably their top bat. And they have other injuries as well. Like this lineup, they don't look good at all. But it is Coors Field, and you can count on Colorado to hopefully score the run. So I would put it maybe like a tier 3 play. For pitcher fantasy score, Miles McCullis, I don't know how to say his name. Miles, 27.5. Taking the over on this one against the Reds against Nick Lodolo. Lodolo has been very solid. Has some really good strikeout stuff. A sinker baller, keeps the ball down on the ground. But a match against the Cardinals where Lodolo does give up more to the righties. The Cardinals have an absolutely loaded right-handed lineup. And they have some switch hitters, so those are going to be batting left-handed. But this is just not a good spot. Like, I don't think it's enough to target Lodolo's under because he's been a good pitcher. And he actually had really good success against these Cardinals already in one start. But with the weather, it's going to be warm. It's an afternoon game over there. Wind's blowing out. Pitching away, honestly not the worst thing because Cincinnati, they have one of the best hitters ballpark. But Lodolo, he has the K stuff. So even though it's a tough matchup against the Cardinals, who they absolutely rake against left-handed pitching, I don't feel confident in betting an under on Lodolo. But I think Miles is just better with the over 27.5. For his numbers, he isn't going to strike a ton of guys out. Like, these numbers are really low for the Ks, the whiff, and the chase rate. But he doesn't get himself into trouble, meaning he's not going to walk many guys. He's going to limit hard hits. So you're probably not going to get many runners in a scoring position. So that's why he's just not a pitcher that's going to give up a lot of runs. But he will induce soft contact, kind of lead to shorter at-bats. And that's just how he pitches deeper into games. Also going to be pitching at home. Like you see some of these starts, he's going pretty deep, like 7+ innings. He's usually a guy that's, I don't want to say a lock, but pretty good chances of a quality start. So you're going to get that +4. And even though the strikeouts aren't really there, the Reds, they have a pretty heavy right-handed lineup. Joey Votto is back. They're going to probably have some, a few additional lefties in there, but most of these guys, their everyday players, are going to be right-handed hitters. And Miles, his K rate against righties is better, 3% more than the lefties. So that's a good thing about this matchup. Not expecting a lot of Ks, but just because the matchup in terms of limiting runs and just going deep into the game, probably get a win. Those are going to be very good for the fantasy score. So I think that's why this is going to be an over. Also covers for even the hitter-friendly weather. This one's already moved, so not a play anymore. But I hope you guys got to it. Pitches thrown, Spencer Howard. It was at 82.5. Took the under on this one. Wasn't able to give you guys a pair just because I didn't want to force anything. Give you guys like a bad pair, and then later on find out, I researched more into it, and it's not a good pair. It's like, I don't want to do that. So that's why I didn't post anything. But now at 79.5, I'm going to stay away. This Rangers bullpen, they're not like overused, but they're also not like fresh. So I don't really have a lean on this one. The 3 pitches, it could be really important because for anyone that's going to be close to like the end of the line, Howard, I think he could still go under it, but I just don't want to play it when it's already moved. For hitters now, Luis Arias at 6.5. This one's an over for me. He is going to be taking on Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn has been a pretty unlucky pitcher so far. He missed a good part of the season. He's now back, but his ERA is so high where the expected ERA just is 3 runs lower. Like, that's not going to happen. And we know Lynn's a much better pitcher than a 6.97 ERA. Gonna be pitching away, but his K stuff is down so far. And Arias, he just does not strike out. Lynn has had some pretty noticeable splits. And then looking at his pitch types, so he throws a lot. Like, I mean, fastball, cut, sinker, changeup primarily. And that fastball, I mean, exceedingly his primary pitch. And Arias, 100 percentile for a lot of things. He's not going to get hard hits. He doesn't really have power, but he just gets on base. You know, he has a good walk rate. He hits like 372 against righties. It's just insane. And for the fastball, he has a 14 run value. Nothing even comes close to this. So, like, yeah, it's a good spot that way with the splits for both of these guys. So I think 6.5, it should be a 7.5 line, honestly. And the Twins, they've been really good against right-handed pitchers. They're playing at home against a pitcher that really doesn't strike many guys out so far. So guys that do kind of strike out, like Buxton, of course, Correa. These guys batting behind Arias. Hopefully they can put the ball in play, drive Arias in, because at a 6.5 projection, just get a hit, you know, walk maybe one, score a run, and you're good. So I like this one. Think it should be 7.5. So we're getting, I think, a little of a discount. And then this one, keep in mind, it's a doubleheader. So make sure you're picking Starling Marte for game 2, which is going to be in the afternoon, nighttime, 6.5, because they're both at 6.5. Take the second one, game 2, against Drew Smyly. It's a better matchup compared to Marcus Stroman. And Marte, he used to be a reverse splits guy, but now he's been hitting a lot better against lefties, at least for the season. And Miley, he gives up stolen bases. Starling Marte just came back from injury, so I mean, if he's back healthy, he's playing, he should be able to steal without any troubles. But Smiley gives up stolen bases, and of course with Marte, who's always up there in stolen bases, so now he only has 10. But again, I'm not sure how many games he's missed. Don't think it was that long. Yeah, it was only like 5 days, so he's definitely going to steal, though. You know, he's always been like up there in the steals, 81 sprint speed percentile. And this is a very good matchup for it. Wilson Contreras, this is a doubleheader. So honestly, he might not even have to deal with Contreras' arm behind the plate. Now, Marte coming off an injury, that's another issue. Will he play both ends of the back-to-back? Or will he at least play the second game? So not sure about some of these things. I would expect Contreras to maybe be in the lineup for both, but DH in one of them. But, you know, we can't really just make that judgment right now. And if we wait, this line might move. So, not sure, but that's the reasoning for this one, just the stolen base spot. And then with the splits, 337 against lefties, a lot of power also coming from that side, walking higher at a higher rate. And the pitch types, curve, cut, and sinker for Miley. And then take a look here, curve, cut, sinker. So he's not good against the curve, but cutter, sinker, he is definitely okay. And the thing is, he just overall, he hits very well against lefties, and that's the big thing. And, you know, like Drew Smyly, his run values, like, there's really nothing special about his pitches. It's not like a big negative that it just is unhittable or anything. So I think the spot is definitely fine. The Cubs bullpen isn't great either, so you can definitely get to these. Like, I think Marte can definitely get the over, whether it's against Smyly or the bullpen. Now, gonna go to hits and walks. So I have a few here. Teoscar Hernandez, 1.5 hits and walks. These are all overs. So for Teoscar, they're taking on Daniel Lynch. Teoscar isn't like a crazy high walk guy, but Lynch does walk a lot of batters. I think if you wanted to take his total bases, 1.5 over, that's fine as well. But it's just that thing, well, if Lynch doesn't go deep because the Blue Jays, they have a lot of righties, they could definitely get to Lynch early. what if, they bring in a righty pretty early, or they just blow the game out? Teoscar doesn't actually do much. He's just getting walked, and then, he gets subbed out because of rest or something. So that's kind of the issue. Like, you could say the same thing, though, because his walk rate is so low. But Lynch, his rate is really high. And the matchups, lefty-righty, so that's very favorable for Teoscar. If you want to take total bases, I'm perfectly fine again. But I think, like, when you get a guy that does walk a lot of batters, I just kind of feel like it's better to take hits and walks, just in case that he does get the walk and he doesn't end up getting multiple times to swing the bat. So that's the reasoning for this one. And the next one's Anthony Rizzo, also an over. So the Yankees are going to be taking on Nick Pivetta. For Pivetta, he is also a guy that walks a lot of batters, and Rizzo is definitely a guy that walks a ton. Getting a lefty-righty matchup in favor for Rizzo. Pivetta 43 percentile, so actually not like a lot, but the pitch types, though, that is the reason. I think I mixed it up with someone else, but Pivetta, his walk rate, again, 43 percentile, but the pitch types, it's a fastball, curve, and slider. And then Rizzo, he is very good. It's got curve, fastball 5, curve 7, slider, 1 run rally for that. But fastball, curve, primarily, like, those are by far Rizzo's 2 best pitches to hit. So if we don't get that walk, I mean, I like his chances, right? Hitting in Yankee Stadium, playing at home, short porch and right, it's going to be very favorable. I mean, honestly, not a bad home run bet if you can do that. So I like this Rizzo spot. Very good at walking, so that's why I like this one. If you want to take 7 fantasy points, that one is also on my radar for the over. And then the last official play is Will Smith, also an over, taking on Jose Suarez. I think the Angels actually have sometimes use an opener in front of Suarez, so gonna have to see if that's the case. But I mean, Suarez 23rd percentile for walks, so not the best control guy, but also he doesn't really go deep into games. Like, he just, and I don't expect him to. The Dodgers are very tough, but Will Smith 83rd percentile in walks. His splits are very good against lefties this season. Used to be reversed, but same thing with Marte. Just swinging the ball or the bat a lot better against lefties. And the pitch types for Suarez, matching it up. So fastball, change, and curve. And for Will Smith, fastball 0, change, curve 2 and 5. So very solid for the run values in terms of the pitch types against Suarez. So this one's a very good one as well. I would rank overall, none of these as tier 1s other than that Spencer Howard one, but that's gone. Mikolas, Arias, Marte, Rizzo in order for tier 2. Tier 3 would be Will Smith, Teoscar Hernandez, the Colorado yes runs for sitting, and then Rizzo's fantasy points for tier 3. Some personal plays on my radar: Sean Manaea over 5.5, Tim Harrison over 8, Bichette over 7.5, Semien over 6.5, Adolis over 5.5. Some of these are just more like they hit the pitch as well, but then they also have the stolen base factor. Obviously not Manaea, he's a pitcher, but the stolen base targets, there are quite a few, like Dylan Bundy, Cal Quantrill, Lance Lynn, Nick Pivetta, Jameson Taillon, Logan Gilbert, Alex Cobb, Drew Smyly, Taijuan Walker, and Michael Pineda. So if you want to do target, I know like there's other guys that we could target, like if Luis Robert's healthy, maybe. But I think just looking at it overall, those are the only guys that when I mentioned in personal plays that I do want. So that is it for the video right now. We don't have runs and RBIs posted also. I'll just update when we do get those plays that we usually do get in the morning. So thank you guys for watching. Good luck on the slates. I will also be doing a write-up shortly. So gonna post that, pin it down below in the comments. And just check back, in an hour or two. That should be ready for you guys. So again, thank you guys. Good luck on this slate, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.